Hi! This is my second video. I'm just gonna adjust here because I feel like there's a light that's streaming down on me for my second video. I don't know if the Holy Spirit is coming. I'm just joking. Anyhow, it's a beautiful day out there and I'm inside doing this video because I feel it's really important to move forward and get on with it. I did mention in my first video that I had experience with regards to dealing with people because I had my specialized psychology degree. I did work in sales and marketing. Like I mentioned, I was a yoga teacher, as a yoga therapist. I've had several businesses. I used my HR management diploma to work for HR firms. I've used that experience for businesses as well. It's been a wonderful experience. But one thing I didn't mention in my last video is that I'm a parent. I mentioned I'm going to coach you on parenting, but I'm sure you must have a question mark there as, where is her child? Yeah, I have a child. I wouldn't be coaching you on parenting, practical parenting to boot, if I didn't have a child. That would be strange, right? So in my early 20s, I'll just briefly give you a synopsis of my little pride and joy. In my early 20s, what am I saying? In my 20s, my late 20s, I had a beautiful, bubbly, chunky little baby girl, and her name is Lily. And she became my pride and joy. I fell in love for the very first time. My life changed dramatically. Oh, I never thought I would feel this way. Wow. I was blown away. So I had her, and she's so great. Shortly after I had her, I separated. Obviously, we go through our experiences in life, and my marriage didn't last. So I decided to move on, take the little one, and move forward. Either I stay in it or I move forward and change things. Whatever reason, I decided to move on, okay? And I had to make that choice to take that risk because it's not just as simple as, I want to be a single mom, it's easy peasy, it's gonna be done, there you go. No. I actually had to mentally let it sink in that I was gonna be on my own, taking care of this little one, and that she was gonna fully be depending on me 24/7. 24/7. Okay? I mean, her dad worked a lot, so that's why I'm saying that. So I was with her most of the time, okay? Now, as a baby, you know the routine, the single mother routine. Oh my God. And I worked in Toronto, so at first I worked in Toronto, and then I worked in Burlington. So I can mention my trip from Toronto, yes I can. So basically I lived in Burlington, I worked in Toronto. My baby's daycare was in Oakville. I don't really remember why, but that was crazy because I would drive from Burlington into Oakville, drop her off at daycare, drive to the GO train station, take the train to work to the HR firm that I was working at, then take the train back, pick up my kid after getting in my car, of course, bring her home, and do the whole routine until I had to put her to bed every single day. Some days I wanted to cry because I felt so alone. Other days I wanted to pull my hair out of my head because I was on my own. Oh, ladies, if you're single moms and you have a child that's a baby, my heart goes out to you. It's not easy. They're cute for a reason. Anyhow, enough about that now. When they become toddlers, you better be ready to get up and run because they're in everything. This little one was, oh my gosh. She thought she could try to make toast and she burnt something. And just, you know, they want to run across the street. They don't think about the cars. They want to touch things and not wash their hands. Obviously, you got to stay on top of it. So that time was actually a very interesting one. Again, they're really cute for a reason, but communication very important. Like this little one would tell me, hey, Mom, why do I have to look both ways before crossing the road? Why? And I say that because both ways, then the car's gonna hit you, and then you're gonna go flying, and then you're gonna fall into little pieces. We need to explain everything to them. So toddlers, then you get into school age. They start going on play dates. They're already going on play dates as toddlers. So you need to know who the parents are first of all. You really don't want to just leave them alone unless you know who the parents are. And once they get into their school age years, you know that your kids are going to be hanging out with some of their toddler friends from back then. So it's good for you to know who the parents were back then so that you don't need to worry too much later, that at least you know where they're going, you know who the parents are, you know who they're hanging with. So important. It's so important to be involved. I can't even begin to emphasize how important it is to be involved in your child's life. You'll never, ever get that time back with your child. There are school events, there are acting, there are art exhibits, the parent-teacher interviews so that you know exactly what's going on in class and with their homework. It's so important to be involved. I know it's not easy because sometimes finances are suffering, but sometimes you gotta make that priority depending on where you are in life. My life was, I had to choose between financial success and not seeing my child as much, or structure my life around my child and suffering a bit financially, which, you know what, whatever. I was okay with it because I look back now and go, I can't ever go back to those years to be with her, to pick her up, to see her smile in the morning, to see her, you know, get excited during a play, to see her receive a wonderful award for math in grade 11, you know, to see her succeed in all these little things that she's doing, to see her get involved in all these groups like the environmental club, to get involved in elections for public school age stuff. I would have never seen all that. I would have missed all that. I would have regretted all that. So parents, I know it's not easy. Sometimes we need to sacrifice. You need to weigh what's more important to you. What was important to me was spending time with my child to see her during all these special moments, okay? This way, you get to bond with them, you get to know them better, your communication, you grow together. So once they hit their teens, if you have this all down pat, your kids will feel comfortable in telling you everything. You want to know everything. Like, okay, maybe there's some things you don't want to know, but it's better to know than not to know what they're doing. It's better to know who their friends are and how they are, know who they're hanging out with, what guys they're hanging out with, why they're hanging out with them, where they're hanging out, right? Once they hit their teens, it's a little different. You can't parent as you did when they were school age. When they're teens, then you have to sort of like, I remember telling my daughter, you know what? I'm not always going to be there because you go with your friends and I can't be there supervising you 24/7 because that would be weird. So don't expect me to be, you know, under your bed or, you know, in the closet wherever you go telling you what to do because that's impossible. And this is where I have to give you a little bit of autonomy and self-regulation to make these decisions for yourself. Yes, you still have a curfew. No, you can't have sex yet because you are not an adult and you're not able to bring up a child. You have a budget. If you get pregnant, you're going to be minus $5,000 a month and you're going to be... So I scared mine up a little bit, but what can you do? That is the teenage years. And then right now she's 18, so she's a young adult. But don't be convinced that they're full-blown adults just because they look like full-blown adults, because they're not. They're still transitioning from being a kid to being an adult. And just so you know it, parents, their little brains do not develop fully until they're about 23 or 24 years old. So they don't even understand how risky some of the things they do are. We need to stay on top of them. Like my little one, I'm a full-grown adult, you know, you can trust me, I can do everything, I can do anything. And then the next day she's like, Mom, can can you get me my vitamins? Can you do this for me? Can you massage me? The kid comes out. They don't just transition into adults. They slowly get there. So you just need to take your time and, do the dance. Like right now I'm going through separation anxiety because I am going to miss my child when she goes away to university. And she's going away to university in September. I went and got her some ponytails thinking that she'd be all excited about them. Here they are. And she said, Mom, these don't stretch. These are for little kids. You put them in little ponytails. I can't wear them. Thank you, but no thanks. Okay, I think my separation anxiety has gotten to me because I'm still hoping she's a little kid sometimes, which is why I bought her these. I guess. I can only coach you until 19. I'm gonna be looking for another coach onwards from 19 because I don't really know much about that. Like I'm slowly learning with her. Okay, like she's driving the car right now and I 100% trust her. God forbid she gets into an accident. Anyhow, parents. I did not mention that I was a parent in my first video. Now I have. I've mentioned a little bit about the different stages that I've gone through with my little brat. Okay, I'm very proud of her. She's going to be an interior designer in 4 years. If you want to, I guess you can say, if you want to know if I have experience as a parent, I will leave the question to you. Obviously, I have experience as a single parent. My daughter is actually very well, I guess you could say she's been a good kid. Every child is a good kid. I can't say it like that. Every child is a good kid. But she's been, overall, a well-behaved child. So I believe I've raised her well. And I believe because I've raised her well, I'll tell you why I think she's been raised well. Because she is the child that does not get loaded without thinking about the consequences. She's the child that is the designated driver. She's the child that watches over her friends. She's the child that thinks about things before she does them. She tends to think a lot more than I believe most of her friends her age. She's a little bit more laid back. Maybe she's a little bit more experienced because I've taught her through my own experience because I have a lot of street smarts myself. But I believe that I have the ability to be a very good parenting coach for that reason. So I look forward to having that adventure with you, and we will continue discussing this in the near future. But I just thought I'd mention in this video my experiences as a parent so that you do know that I am a parent and I have been there, okay? I would never coach on something I have no idea about. So parents, it was a pleasure to meet you. We're gonna be moving on to the third video. The third video is gonna be more on self-care because I'm starting a cleanse. I'm doing self-care to detoxify all the stuff that's going on in the environment, the food we eat, the water we drink, it's all polluted. So I'm gonna be doing a Seneca cleansing. And I will talk about that in the next video to let you know how it went, to give you the ingredients right. It's only a 4-day cleanse, but it's a wonderful cleanse. It's so easy to do and you will be so happy that I told you about it. All my friends have asked me about it. Every time I do it, they're like, whoa, you've lost so much weight. And I tell you, you feel like $1 million after. I think I should be doing it at least each quarter. So I'll talk to you then, okay? It was a pleasure speaking to you. And on to the third video. Angelyna Sky, your practical relationship coach.